What's going on, Punkanormal? I'm here with Tyson / Chicken from Dead to Me. How's it going tonight, man?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just shaking off a hangover. Just living life, living large.
Yeah, I've been shaking off my hangover for the last 3 years. I just celebrated 3 years sober like a week ago, something like that.
Sorry, you cut out 3 years, you said?
Yeah, man.
Oh, shit. Congrats, man.
Thank you. Had to be done.
Staying strong?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Right on.
absolutely.
Well, I guess this segues into one of my questions. One of my favorite songs you guys do is Visiting Day. Was that your first record? I assume that was a very personal song for you.
It was. Yeah. Yeah, that's a true story. Everything that happened in that song is a direct account of a visiting day I had in rehab. The first time I went to rehab.
Shit, so it was really dire for you for a while.
Yeah, I mean that was the first time I went to rehab. I did not stay sober the entire time. I was actually thinking about it the other day because I just celebrated 3 years sober, and had I stayed sober that first time, I'd be celebrating like 14 years sober or something like that. So yeah, there was a little bit of time in between. You know, it took me a while to get it, but looking good now.
Yeah, I've heard that some of those rehab places are way too easy to score drugs. So.
You've heard correctly. Yeah.
And I mean,
that is true.
I guess it would be true that you have to truly want to quit yourself, right? Like, can't just be people forcing.
Yeah, that's been my experience for sure. I mean, it's just like anywhere else, you know. I mean, treatment facilities. A lot of people are there. You know, they didn't put themselves. A vast majority of people that are there didn't go because, like, on their own accord per se. You know, a lot of people that go. Are going because of work or the courts or a significant other, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, husband, wife, dad, stuff like that, you know. So if you're not really, you know, if you're not there because you want to be there, then I'd say your chances aren't as good as someone who puts themselves there. Now, that's not to say that a lot of people do end up going because of those reasons that I just listed, and then once they're in there, they kind of once the fog lifts a little bit, they're like, hey, wait a minute, like maybe this isn't the worst idea, you know, and they kind of realize that maybe it's a good thing that they're there, and then it kind of it becomes something that they become an active participant in, and as opposed to someone that was like kind of just put there.
Yeah, for sure. But took you a while to figure it out, but I'm glad you made her out, and you're doing well now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you very much. I too am very glad that I made it out. But yeah.
Well, it's not an easy scene to be involved in when you don't drink. What's that? Did you hear the new No Effects album? He's got a song about that. Oh, it's the only job where you're criticized for not being a drug user.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, the thing is though that like I will say also though that like, as much as that's true, it's also a really supportive scene for like whatever your deal is. It's a pretty open-minded scene for the most part, and I've found that like it's definitely a place where I've been like encouraged and like even like you just said, you know, like you don't know me, but you're like, way to go, man, that's cool, like that's awesome, good for you. And I've come across that like a lot, and I also think that like the you know, that like kind of drugged out drunk guy in the punk band is a cliche, like at the end of the day. So I wasn't really feeling that anymore. I didn't like get into punk rock or want to be a punk rocker because I wanted to be a cliche, you know, like, so there's that. I mean, I've had so much support from my friends and bands and, like people at shows and stuff. Like people will come up to me and tell me that I'm with it. we get to talk about talk about going through life sober together, and like that's a really fucking cool thing. I think maybe sometimes like people in their lives, if they're like trying to get sober and they don't really have people to talk to, if they go to a show and they know that like I'm sober, or there's like other sober people there and they get to talk to them, it's like kind of an easier way to talk to a stranger sometimes. So I've had that happen a bunch. I feel like I've gotten a lot of support from the scene. But yeah, you're right. Like on the surface, we all kind of have this thing in our mind of like, oh shit, like we're, it is encouraged to be fucked. I mean, most of my favorite bands, drunken, drug-addled behavior going on in them. But I guess there's also like just as many bands that I fucking worship that have dudes that's not their get down, the Fugazis, there's, I name one, and of course it's the one with Ian MacKaye. I'm like, there's lots of bands, Minor Threat, Fugazi. but there are, dude. There's a lot of them. There's also like a bunch of dudes in bands that don't make a fucking big deal out of it, like I do. I know tons of dudes that are sober in bands that like after I got sober, they're like, oh yeah, dude, I've been sober for X amount of years, and I'm like, wait, what? Like I've been seeing your band for years and years, and I never knew you were sober. They just don't have a fucking big blabbermouth like I do about it. So, it's out there.
Well, everybody has their own journey, I guess. There's definitely a few guys I've heard of. I heard fucking Jay Bentley was like AA guy.
I fucking, one of the A's stands for anonymous, my man. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
True. I feel dirty talking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
good for everyone that's got it.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're like self-important assholes like me, they probably don't say too much about it. But I think like for me, one of the reasons I talk about it a lot is it kind of provides me some accountability because I do get asked about it a lot, and so that's actually good for me because it helps me like it's just one more fucking thing to keep me from fucking up again, and it like helps me it's public knowledge kind of like at this point amongst my friends and stuff, so it helps. It makes it way harder for me to go sneak around and get fucked up.
Sure. God, yeah.
Yeah, we're allowed to cuss, right?
Oh yeah, this is just a podcast, so anything goes.
True. The internet, and it's the Canadian internet, so
yeah.
It's wild west.
1/10 smaller than American internet.
Right.
But I've seen you guys a number of times live, and one time you were talking about this very subject, and you had mentioned that Fat Mike actually paid for your treatment one time. Is that a true story?
He did. Yeah. The first time I went, everyone at Fat Records has always been so supportive of my recovery, and the first time I went, I was working at Fat Records, and I was just not in a good place, and they were just like, dude, a couple of my coworkers kind of helped. One in particular, this guy Brian Archer, kind of helped me find a place to go, and then I went, and Fat Mike was super cool about it. He was like, yeah, dude, don't even worry about it, like we'll pay for it, and then like we'll take it out of your paycheck for like the next it was some insane amount, like some super long amount. So it was like $2 was getting taken out of my paycheck over the next however many years or something. Like it was insane. It was super cool of them. And then they would like write me cards and stuff, and they'd call and check on me and everything. And they let me miss work for a month to go to rehab. Not a lot of jobs will let you do that. So yeah, they were really cool about it. And Mike has always been super, super fucking cool about my recovery and stuff. So, and his wife Erin is just like, especially she's really, really been insanely cool about it. And like, just like she's like my big sister, man. And so she'll text me and be like, hey, I'm so proud of you for doing well. And not like she's texting a guy in a band that's on her label. She's just like texting someone that she loves and cares about. And it feels really good.
Awesome. I have heard really good things about her. I've never met her myself, but
she's the best.
A lot of people say very, very nice things about her.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool, man. Well, A more sunnier topic. What has Dead to Me been up to? I saw you guys. Well, I've listened to your EP you released. I think was that 2 years ago.
No, that was last year. No, it's fine. How old are you?
31.
31. Yeah, dude, you're in your 30s. Time. It starts fucking flying by now. So 1 year feels like 2 now. Yeah. The EP that I Want to Die in Los Angeles EP came out October of 2016, and then this year we've been writing the new record. So we're getting ready to play these shows with Hot Water Music. We were scheduled to play them in September, I believe it was, but Hot Water had to reschedule them. Some like medical emergency thing came up, so they had to reschedule them. So we're playing those shows in January. That's in September. No, that's in January, and they're in San Francisco and Los Angeles. And so we're getting ready for those. And then we've got some stuff in the works as far as a little West Coast run that I probably shouldn't say too much about. And then we are trying to get into the studio in March to record the new record.
And
yeah, man.
Is Jack a full-fledged member again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this whole year has been fucking nuts, man. 2017's been crazy for us because we've been, demoing and practicing and demoing. And I'm kind of famous for like writing a song and then go up there, show those dudes, we work on it, and then a week later I hate it. So I feel bad for those dudes being in the band with me because that's got to be a pain in the ass. But they're really cool about it. They all live in San Francisco, and I live in Echo Park. I live in Los Angeles. And so I drive out there like almost every other weekend. And it's been kind of crazy, but super fun. Like it is a little hard for us sometimes because like we go along so well at this point. Like sometimes it can be like a little bit detrimental because we'll go into practice and like I've driven 6 hours and like we'll go to practice and then we're just like dicking around doing stupid impressions and like showing each other stupid stuff. Like it's ridiculous. So sometimes we have a hard time actually getting work done because we're just having such a good time hanging out with each other.
To hear the rest of this interview, check out punkanormalactivity.com or use one of your favorite podcast apps such as SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, and more. Hope you guys check it out.